Do I have everybody's attention now?
This is it, Josh! This is it!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Russell Point. We are here with a roundup of everything that's happened in the past week. Every week that we do this, it's surprising to me how much shit can happen, how much stupid shit can happen in a week. So let me just move these tabs because I keep looking at them. So I have a bunch of banners here. We are going to start off with.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Yeah. Okay. I can give you some general thoughts. So I think, Cody, you and I said during our preview that the Rumble is our favorite pay-per-view of the year. I don't know if Dom, I don't know if you said the same thing, but I know me and Cody said the Rumble is our favorite pay-per-view every year. I hated the show. This was a really, really bad show. Even I heard people were saying like the men's Rumble match was the worst of all time. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I do think top to bottom, this might have been the worst Royal Rumble pay-per-view of all time. This was a really bad show.
Yeah, so the first match, I really like this. I really like the match. I like the finish. Like I don't think I'm in the majority of many people, but I really enjoyed the finish because I feel like Roman couldn't. Even though I don't think Roman can lose right now, I don't think Seth could lose right now. So him just choking out Seth because he got so pissed at him for him getting in his head, and then the perfect moment when he hits Seth Rollins with the chair, and Seth falls exactly the same way Roman did when he hit him with the chair, 9 years ago now? It was awesome. Everything else fucking sucked. Everything else. Brock versus Bobby was not terrible. I did not like the finish. The Royal Rumble sucked. Probably the worst women's Royal Rumble I remember.
No, I disagree.
I think.
The worst women's Rumble? I mean, there's
No.
only what? This is only what, like the fourth women's Rumble or third?
Fourth?
So it's a low bar. I can't say one way or another if I think this was the worst women's Rumble because I just don't really remember them. There haven't been
The Charlotte one was worse in my opinion.
I think this one. Well, first, before we get to the women's Rumble, because I just have I want to quickly talk about Roman Seth as well because I was actually really, really enjoying the match. I thought this was the best Seth Rollins match I had seen in years. I thought the psychology was. I'm not saying I think that his matches have been bad. I think that I really, really. I mean, you guys know that I've had different thoughts on like his matches with Edge, but I thought like the psychology in this match I thought was off the charts, great. But the finish really ruined it for me. I disagree. I think Seth, because he's facing Roman, I think anybody can lose to Roman. It doesn't because Roman's such a huge star. He hasn't been pinned in over 2 years. I don't know. I don't think a loss to Roman really derails anybody's momentum. I think I would have loved to have seen Roman win, but with heel tactics, and especially losing to Roman doesn't hurt anybody, but losing to Roman dirty also really doesn't hurt anybody. I think they could have made Seth look a little stronger and then give Roman a cheap win. That's what I would have preferred. Other than that, I thought the match was really good. I think they overdid the chair shots a little bit at the end, but that's just me. But I hated every other match. Lashley and Brock wasn't terrible, but that match, man, they could have made that match so much better. Okay. So much better. I can't believe it. I was so that might have been the most disappointing match I've seen I think that was the most disappointing match I've seen in a long time, just because I personally was looking forward to it so much. I was really bummed.
All right. I was thinking when you said, "Oh, it's the worst men's Royal Rumble or World pay-per-view." 2011 was worse, in my opinion. Have you seen 2011? 2011. I'm talking about card overall. 2011.
Yeah. What were the matches in 2011? I don't remember.
You had Dolph Ziggler against Edge. You had the 40-man Royal Rumble.
Oh, the Del Rio.
But aren't we just talking about Royal Rumbles in general? Not
No,
like
he said
pay-per-view?
Royal Rumble.
I said
pay-per-view.
pay-per-view.
Oh, I don't think it's the worst pay-per-view.
That's what I said. I don't think it's the worst
I
pay
thought we
per
were
view, but
talking about
I'd have to revisit 2011. I don't remember too much
it's.
about it.
I remember it being not that great. But yeah, Seth versus Roman. I didn't mind the finish. I think if you want to have Seth look strong, but like Roman retain, not lose, but retain the championship, I think a DQ. I think it shows.
But Seth didn't look strong though. He got choked out.
Didn't look strong, but
He got choked out after.
They kind of
Roman
shows
left
that
the-
Roman didn't think he could beat him. In my opinion, it's like,
I
look,
agree.
I have to choke this guy out and DQ because I can't beat him any other way.
I don't even think Roman was like, I have to choke this guy out. I think the story was that Roman is so angry at him that he would refuse to let the hold go.
Yeah, you're actually right on that. Yeah, he didn't have to. He kind of wanted to. Doudrop was his. I don't care what anybody says. I hated that match. I don't like.
Oh, it was
Doudrop
much
at all.
better than I thought it was going to be.
I skipped that match in real time. I went back and watched it, and I wasn't like a huge fan, but it wasn't it wasn't awful. There were some cool moments. There were some nice near falls. I like that they put over Doudrop's strength the way they did. They actually made her look pretty viable.
But that's what I don't like about like especially with the women's division. That's why I like Bianca and like sometimes Charlotte. Like they make a strength. Oh, like they're actually strong. With like when Nia does it and like Tamina, they're like, oh, it's because we're big. Like we can do all of this big stuff. Like and there's always like different cases, especially with the men's. Like Kane was actually really fucking strong. He was big and strong. Same with Mark Henry. Same with Big Show. And then you have like Shanky. It's like he's not very strong. He's just big, Like that's what I don't like about like how they book it.
I get that.
Well, Shanky's not really built as like a huge monster.
No, bad example, but you know what I mean. Like just because you're big doesn't mean you should do all of these strong.
But I like that it made Becky have a different kind of match. Like I agree. Halfway through, I was because we all knew Becky was winning, but I was interested in seeing how she got there because. They were really putting over. They weren't necessarily putting over Doudrop's strength. They were putting over her size, and so it was really interesting to see how. I was interested in seeing how they were going to get there, and it was different.
I like. Then Bobby with this Lesnar. Let me just say the production value of WWE and especially the editing team is probably the best that it's ever going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's insane how good it is. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Their pre-match package for that match.
I couldn't have made it any better. Like anytime the reason sometimes I like to watch WWE is because of the production value. Because sometimes it's just so high quality. I'm like I'm really fascinated. As somebody who likes editing and all that stuff, it's enjoyable to watch. But they should have have Lesnar less be dominant. Like give Bob we get Lesnar is like the top guy, and it sucks to say like Roman, Lesnar, and then you have Bianca, and then now Becky, and then now Ronda Rousey. Everybody else besides that doesn't feel important. Even Bobby, because Bobby didn't get much offense in, and he had to win by Roman interference.
I don't know. I'm gonna disagree a little bit. I think
I kind of
Bobby got some. He got especially compared to like a lot of Lesnar opponents. I think he
had the Hurt Lock in for quite a decent amount of time.
And that's something that I think they've done really well is at the Rumble and at Day One. They've really, I think, put over the Hurt Lock with how like he's put it on Brock twice, and both times Brock.
I just don't understand. This is the reason. I don't understand why they couldn't have Brock clean and then win the Rumble. Because then nobody would be like, oh, okay, he looks so weak. Let's have him be strong and win the Rumble.
I have an opinion on that too. But we're doing I know that later we're going to be doing early chamber thoughts. So I'm going to say mine. I'm going to say we can save that conversation for that.
Okay.
I do have opinions on that as well.
I can go to the next banner if you guys want before.
No, actually,
Are we done with the Rumble?
We haven't even talked about the Rumble matches really yet.
Yeah,
I wanted to talk about.
I want to make a quick comment about the women's Rumble. So I'm going to start off with a blanket statement, and then I'm going to elaborate. I don't think there should be a women's Rumble. And when you deep dive into this year, I think you really find out why. There were 30 entrants. 15 of them were either from a different company or just not on the active roster. And then I think 7 of I'm counting the legends like Melina. I'm not counting as being on the active roster. I promise you, 15 out of 30.
No, bro, you said other companies other than Mickey James, who's from a different company.
Or they were like technically they were like unaffiliated with WWE. I guess.
Okay.
So yeah, half the entrants were unaffiliated with WWE, like currently on the active roster, and then there were 7 who lasted less than a minute. It did not need to be there. I don't think. As far as existing, like, of course, there's a new storyline. Ronda Rousey's back. But other than that, the only thing that got furthered in any way was Naomi. So
a story that should be over.
It's going to be over relatively soon, I hope.
Yeah, there were no moments in this. Same thing with the men's rumble. There were no moments. I felt kind of bad for Kofi because he botched his annual spot, but like I was sad for him, but I was happy to not see it again.
They also production kind of fucked him because they could have panned the camera higher.
I don't know. It was so obvious.
That's a hard spot, though.
It's a very, very hard spot. It's a very hard spot.
I want to say something about the women's Royal Rumble. I can see your. There's so many women's wrestlers like are not out of on the company. Like, and they have to be used. I don't think they have to be used. They just are because they have enough women on WWE umbrella. They do because they're still NXT. They're still NXT UK, and it's not like the first time we haven't seen NXT.
I can't believe they didn't use anybody from NXT.
It's insane.
That's
it's insane. So when Eric says that those stats, I'm like, enough. It's because of the Royal Rumble exists and. It's like, oh, they don't have enough wrestlers. They have enough wrestlers. They're just not using the right ones.
Yeah, like I have the entrance in front of me right now. I'll list all the ones.
I'm not saying like.
No, he's not arguing with you. He just
saying. I'm not arguing. I'm saying like.
They do have enough people that
they
do have enough people to have a women's Royal Rumble on with all of the roster members. They should start doing that.
I also
that's what I'm saying.
Whoever was producing this Rumble needs to be reevaluated because the way they like both the Rumbles, like Sasha Banks goes out at number 15.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, and AJ gets eliminated by when he gave me he was the Iron Man and he got less than 30 minutes. This was a bet. And I think the producer for this match was Jamie Noble. And Jamie Noble normally does a good job.
I heard it was about it. Shane, yeah, that's why he got so much.
We're going to talk about Shane in a little bit.
Yeah. Because I heard other things about Shane.
The next banner is Shane McMahon.
Okay,
it became a transition.
All right.
Since we're already on the topic of Shane, I guess we can move on.
I don't want to spell McMahon.
I'll say what I heard, and why I said Jamie Noble is Shane was I heard that Shane was like supposed to be producing the Rumble, but he wanted to build like the story of the ending around like he wanted it to be about himself.
I'll tell you what I heard from I read the dirt sheets. So Shane McMahon wasn't supposed to be a producer, but then he was helping produce it, and he insisted that he would go on either 28, 29 where he went, or number 1. He wanted a spot that would highlight himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when Vince said, yeah, no, we're not doing this. And then at one point, they messed up the order where it was supposed to be Randy Orton, then Shane, but they gave the order of Shane, then Randy. And then Shane's music hit, and Randy said, I'm not going out to your music, so you better get out there.
Oh, wow.
So, Shane really, I feel like a lot of people are uncomfortable with Shane trying to insert his.
You want to hear? Because I was listening to things this morning about Shane. So he was brought back. This is what Shane wanted to do. This is what Shane wanted for himself. He wanted to be like a featured part of the Rumble, and apparently he was like butting heads with Brock. Like he wanted to do things with Brock that Brock was like, no thanks. And then Shane wanted to go on and be in the chamber match. And then he wanted to have a WrestleMania match with Seth.
Which I would have actually freaked out if that was actually the plan.
Yeah.
Even though it was a great Seth run, in my opinion, and I think Dom's opinion too. Maybe not as much Eric's opinion.
No,
but
he's doing good things.
I
right
think
now.
his heel run is amazing.
I think that would be ridiculous.
But so I think when they brought back Shane, they, like from what they wanted, between what they wanted with Shane and what Shane wanted for Shane, I think we're just light years apart. From what I've been hearing, and he was butting heads with Jamie Noble about the direction they wanted to go with the Rumble. So I guess they were kind of co-producing, but it sounds like
Michael
got his way on a lot of it.
P.S. Haynes was also involved in producing.
Yeah, but it sounds like the not Shane McMahon producers more or less got their way with a lot of things because Shane.
Vince pulled Shane. He said, you're not coming out number one. You're not. And then a day later, he was released, or I don't even know how you would describe it.
Yeah, he's not fired, but I think what it technically is they're just pulling the plans they had for him. I don't think he's necessarily fired. I don't think he's released, but they're not doing it.
I think he might not be under contract.
But he's not. It's weird. It's really weird. I don't think they use the word.
I also didn't tell you guys ahead of this. I have a banner for Forbidden Door of Tony Khan's tweet earlier, so we're gonna have to guess somebody. So I'm just saying.
Okay.
Nah.
I'm not guessing anything. There's nobody coming.
But yeah, the Shane thing is very confusing to me. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's kind of mind blowing that it got this far with a member of the family. You know, like it's crazy.
I think it's more of a telltale sign that Vince is going to sell the company eventually.
Yeah, he will.
He's either going to sell it or he's just going to turn it over.
People were always about Stephanie. Stephanie's on TV too much, but Shane is really the guy that wants all.
And they're kind of pushing. They're kind of. They're not like getting rid of Triple H, but they're kind of they're getting rid of all of his people, you know, like they're kind of nudging him out of really prominent role.
I think Vince just doesn't want anybody to take over the company. He just wants to sell it and then profit off of him and say, hey, nobody else is the owner. I have my legacy go further. He doesn't want to he just doesn't want to give it to somebody he knows. I think he just wants to sell it.
Which is ridiculous because his dad literally gave it to him.
I know, but he doesn't want to do the same. I guess that's what it seems like.
Yeah, his dad gave it to him, but he did things with the company that were at the time.
I mean, without Vince McMahon,
it's a completely different company than the one he got from his dad.
Yeah, without Vince McMahon, we probably wouldn't have WWE like it is.
Oh God, no. Without Vince McMahon Jr., we might still be in territories.
Yeah, we've been watching Mexican wrestling.
John, that wouldn't surprise me if you actually do. So, all right, yeah. So I think it's pretty clear that we are. I don't know. I'm still confused at the situation. I feel like he can't get fired, right? He's like,
technically, he was on. He can because he wasn't even the contract that he was under. It wasn't like an advisory. It wasn't a corporate. He was under a talent contract. Only a talent contract.
I wonder if John Laurinaitis called him and said, "Hey, we're losing you."
Oh my God!
What I heard is that it's possible that that Nick Khan kind of threw Shane under the bus to distract from the fact, like the WrestleMania sign melting. He's like, "Fuck, I'm gonna get in so much trouble. I better." Yeah, but I heard that Nick Khan riled Shane up to try to get Shane to make an ass of himself and just kind of bury Shane to distract from his fuck up with the WrestleMania sign.
Now we're getting into conspiracy theories.
All right, we're gonna go to the next one. We're hopping over to I guess AEW side of things, kind of WWE thing too.
Ooh.
Brian Kendrick.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
So I don't know much about this. I don't know. I only read like 2 sentences of what he said.
Yeah, I want to pull it. I'm not going to read it, but I want to make sure before I say anything that I have. I get the quote right.
Is it about like anti-Semitic, like Jews and stuff?
It is, but I want to make sure I have. I want to make sure I have the right one, so I don't since it's a sensitive subject, I want to make sure that I have it right. So
I just want to say that Jon Moxley. I don't care what you guys say about Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley had a really good match against Wheeler Yuta. You guys can say what you want. I like the match a lot.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, I didn't watch it because Jon Moxley can't wrestle.
Too bad, because it was great. Whatever.
I'm sure it wasn't.
How you? Yeah,
I'm sure it wasn't.
Sure, whatever.
Says the guy that's never said a bad thing about AEW ever.
I did, and I have. I told you I didn't like Beach Break. I'm gonna say it again.
I mean, you couldn't defend that show. It was terrible.
But he just said I could never say a bad thing about AEW. I just did. I didn't like Beach Break.
I couldn't find it, but yeah, it doesn't matter. We know the subject matter.
Yeah.
People will say whenever things like this come out, there's always a group of people that'll say, "Oh, you're really gonna dig something," because this was something he said in like 2011. Like, "Oh, you're really gonna go digging up things that he said 11 years ago," and sometimes I'll be in that group. If the quote is what I think it is, there's no excuse. Like,
yeah, there's definitely. I read some of it. Like, I can't remember word for what it is, but it's like, I guess he tweeted like, "Oh, I don't share these beliefs." I'm like, that's a load of shit.
Load of shit. You said it. Yeah.
Fucking paragraphs of things he said that like.
Yeah. Okay. I want to say. I'm just gonna say what I think. These words were said by somebody recently that I read recently. I don't remember if it was Brian Kendrick, but. So I hope so I'm gonna we can take this with a grain of salt. This might not be what he said. Something like, like Hitler didn't pick the Jews for no reason. They have
I think that's what it is. I think I might have read something like that.
Yeah. So and that's ridiculous. That's one like we've all heard really messed up things about like anti-Semitic things. That's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. Like when something like that comes up, you have to do something. You really do.
Yeah.
Like I just don't I don't understand how this like he was in WWE this whole time. Never heard of it. He was.
They didn't care as much.
What?
I don't think they cared as much. WWE.
I mean, AEW is not the people that found the words.
Yeah.
It didn't come out until the night before he was supposed to debut.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
but it was posted like 11 years ago, though.
Okay, but how did ROH not figure it out? Impact. He was in all these companies.
Maybe they didn't care enough.
No, they definitely. I think any.
Then why wouldn't they have found out? That's my thing about it.
Okay, but why wouldn't AEW didn't find out until someone brought it up?
I guess you're right.
So like, I just don't know how I guess like I heard like he's like a really weird person. I guess
he's always come off as kind of a weirdo.
But like I just don't understand.
He's a very talented weirdo, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I mean it's like what he says is obviously indefensible, and he's a pretty bad human being for saying these things. But if we're talking just in ring, the dude's got talent, and this is it's a shame,
Yeah,
and AEW is the company that would have given him a chance to really showcase what he can do, and he could have had so many great, think about all the great matchups he could have had in AEW. And
yeah, bad people, great talent, just like Benoit. Oof.
A lot of people like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is a lot of people. Snuka, yeah. Carlos Colon.
I mean, not even in wrestling. You talk about like Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Carlos Colon. That was a nice one, Dom.
Thank you.
This has been in Dom's notebook for 2 weeks. He's been waiting to use this.
I've been doing lots of what's the Dark Side of the Ring watching.
The guy. Well, he's not the one that killed Bruiser Brody. It was Jose.
He's still part of it.
Jose
No, he's still part of it.
He is part.
All right.
But no,
so
that was
I'm
nice.
gonna get into this thing. This is more a topic I wanted to talk about. Mustafa.
Didn't we talk about it last time though?
I
You
just want to talk about it more.
I have a new take.
Oh boy. Go ahead.
Let me get.
I don't think I'll have.
Get the Roman picture up.
Yeah.
Take the picture I made a long time ago. 2-1.
Mustafa Ali needs to stop being a little bitch and just fucking work. That's what I think.
So what changed?
I just like all the stuff he tweets. It's like nonsense. Just, dude, you're under contract. Do your job until your contract's up.
Because I'm not on Twitter. Whenever I see a tweet, it's like things that have been shared on Instagram. What's he been tweeting?
Something about no, I don't want to be in the Royal Rumble or like stupid shit.
Oh, okay.
And like I understand like being frustrated with something. Like I think the CM Punk thing is completely different, even though I had different opinions about that. CM Punk was legitimately hurt and not treated. Mustafa Ali is just bad creative, so he doesn't want to work.
Yeah.
like that's kind of ridiculous on my point of view. I'm like, dude, you're under contract. You signed the contract. Just do what you're done, and then when you're done, you'll feel better about it because you'll be like, oh, I was a professional. I was the bigger man. But now you're sitting at home.
And the more he sits back and bitches, he's not like he's not necessarily giving himself a good look for when he is a free agent.
Yeah.
Like if your options are let's just say for the sake of argument that for however long is left in his contract, that WWE has zero plans to ever put him on TV.
I think it's like 2 years.
Let's just say for the sake of argument, either WWE has no plans to ever use him on TV. You can either just sit there and be quiet, and everyone's going to remember you as everyone's going to remember him in 2 years as being super, super, super talented.
Remember who did that though?
Oh.
Pac. Yeah,
Pac.
and see how his
or he can sit there and bitch and make himself look bad, and it's not like he's not going to be as hot a commodity if he just stays quiet and in the future lets his work speak. Because how old is he? It's not like these are the golden years of his career, and in 2 years he's not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't understand. Like, yeah, it's bad creative. Like, just talk it out with somebody. But like, yeah, I need a different direction.
Yeah, and it's hard. Okay, it is. I'll give him some credit. It's hard to be in his situation and be quiet. Like they're giving him bad creative. They don't really have plans for him, but they're also not going to let him leave. That sucks, especially when it's 2 years. It's a long time to like be in a place that you don't want to be. Archer.
Oh boy.
Mustafa Ali deserves better.
No, but with Mustafa Ali, I kind of agree with you, Cody. Sometimes like it. I mean, again, I've never been a wrestler on the WWE. It probably is pretty exciting. I know, hard to believe, but it's probably draining. Like as a competitor, like having hopes of going to WWE, competing, doing what you love, and then like becoming constantly getting bad booked, and it's probably like very mentally draining. Like, so I can't really comment on that because
Tom, you know what else is draining?
What?
Working an 8 to 5 day every single day and doing it every morning. Like his life is not that bad.
I'm saying like, but you have to look. Never mind.
He makes so much money wrestling in front of hundreds of thousands.
Sometimes it's not about the money. Like if you go to pro wrestling, it's usually don't go about the money. You start off making no money in pro wrestling. If you want to make money, you go into software engineering. Okay, like that's where you go.
Some people
yes you do. You make 100+ K a year.
Yeah, but in how many WWE people do you think make over that?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm
just asking. How many do you think? I think a lot of people do, especially in WWE.
In WWE, yeah, maybe, but he didn't start on the WWE. He got through the Cruiserweight Classic. That's basically just the indie reaping of 2016.
But he signed a new contract, or he wouldn't have as much left on it. So,
we'll go in circles with this.
All right. We can go AEW more now.
Oh boy.
The direction of AEW as a whole. There are certain critiques me and Eric mostly have. Chill AEW boy down there probably doesn't have much to criticize.
I'm happy with how things are going.
First off, the Bryan Danielson Jon Moxley feud is terrible. It's probably one of the worst things they're gonna do. Why are you having Bryan Danielson, you guys have so many good wrestlers that you could put him with, and you're putting him with Jon Moxley, a guy who we've both seen already wrestle him. He's wrestled him numerous times on television. Like I don't want to see that. I don't want to see them team up. I get, Dom, your point where it would be cool if they got all the young guys together, but like the people they mentioned was like Dante Martin and
I like Dante Martin.
They put no. I'm saying they named Dante Martin. They named Daniel Garcia.
Awesome,
but he's a heel.
Yeah, he's a heel. Dante Martin's a face.
I
can't remember who else they mentioned, but
Wheeler Yuta I don't care what you say. Wheeler Yuta is really good.
Wheeler Yuta's already in a group though. Is he not with the best?
That's the point. They want to go from group to group to be like, hey, these young guys are just getting wasted in these factions. Yuta's getting
but you
really think another one. I don't know.
You really think it's gonna be a long-term thing? They're gonna end up fighting at Revolution probably, Brian.
But like I said, That's why I'm excited because this direct could take different
All right,
directions.
wait, Dom. I actually have a serious question for you. Who
Okay.
wins in that fight? Who do you book to go over?
Ooh.
John Moxley or Brian Danielson?
It depends. It depends if they end up feuding or if they join together.
No, if they're fighting.
For the sake of this question, let's assume they are fighting.
Okay, if they assume they're fighting,
That's a good question, actually.
Brian
Daniel-
Danielson. My pick is Brian Danielson. has
Danielson.
to.
Yeah,
He
Danielson.
lost his last match, and Eric's dog's barking because he agrees.
No,
Danielson,
one
yeah,
of my
Danielson.
roommates just got home, so my dog's going nuts.
But
If
no,
Danielson wins, then maybe John Moxley will join him afterwards.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I just
I feel like you do know. You just don't like it.
I definitely don't like it. Like
I
Brian
do,
Danielson
so-
should just be fighting everybody, but he's doing promo. I think he might be hurt, honestly, too. That's why he hasn't wrestled in a while.
Maybe. Hey, look at that. It could be a possibility.
Anyway, so what I kind of want to say what I think about the. You guys know what I think of Moxley. I don't think he's a very good wrestler, but I'm throwing that out the window for this and looking at how they got over in AEW. I don't care. I'm not talking about WWE. I'm not talking about Dean Ambrose being in the Shield. He was so over when he came in as a single. He was so over when he was the champion during his singles run, and he was red hot. Bryan Danielson's been a single this whole time, red hot. And then John Moxley got put into his duo with Eddie Kingston, and they started trying to put him in more tag team stuff, and people stopped caring. They both work better as singles. I get that putting stars together seems like a cool thing, but I think that they both just work so much better as singles, and I don't buy that they've in general. I think they've done their factions so terribly as far as like creating stars out of their factions. There are more factions that nobody cares about than the other way around. I think. I'm not saying there's none. I'm not saying there's not a single person in a
There's a
faction
couple.
that hasn't. Huh?
There's a couple. There's
There's a couple, but
like five.
But think about how many factions there are. Think about how many people, how many wrestlers. Think about how many wrestlers are in factions. They on the whole do a very terrible job.
There's
of
only
keeping
two.
over in
I'll tell you
factions.
this right now. As not like a super AEW guy, but like a guy that watches it, I only care about two factions in the company.
Like, but let's think about this. Let's think about who right now in the past couple months. Who are the people that have consistently had good segments? Danielson, no faction. Punk, no faction. MJF, no fact. Or well, Pinnacle, but they don't really do much. But they don't really do
That's
much.
one of the two.
Hook.
Yeah, well, he's technically in Team Taz, but he's always alone. He's literally always
He's
alone.
still a part of a
And
faction.
then did I already say Paige? No faction. He was with Danielson, but my point is, I think the best
MJF
stuff.
part of the
He's part of the Pinnacle, but he's always alone.
but he's
always alone.
Okay, so I do disagree with you a little because he's always with Wardlow. Sean Spears is there a lot with him. FTR not as much, but those.
And you
two
were
are-
talking about factions.
But they don't do.
Wardlow is the best example.
What's the word? His conflicts are singles conflicts. It's not Pinnacle versus these people. It's Punk versus MJF.
Faction.
Once they start getting faction versus faction, it's always terrible.
It only
It's
happens
always
one
terrible.
time.
Undisputed Era versus Best Friends is awful. Inner Circle versus anybody is
I think that's.
awful.
I think that's over. I don't think that really was. That was.
Yeah.
Like,
Undisputed Era versus Young Bucks, mark my words, will be awful.
oh
I
no,
know.
no.
They'll have a good match, but the segments will be unwatchable.
How do
Oh
you
no,
know?
because it's gonna be. It's. I don't know with Kenny and Cole.
Everything with the Hardy Family Office is awful. Everything with the Dark Order is awful. They don't do, on the whole, they don't do factions well.
So like
They
the only two factions I care about really are the Elite and the Pinnacle. That's really all. I could care less about any other.
No Team Taz?
No.
Why?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Hobbs. Every time I see him on TV, he loses.
Who?
Hobbs.
Hobbs.
I'm not talking about Hobbs. It's Ricky Starks too.
But he's also on Team Taz. Like Ricky Starks, I do enjoy Ricky Starks, but the faction I really don't care for.
Taz is the best commentator in AEW. So
Yes, he is. He
Is
is.
he?
Yeah. Oh,
100%. What?
Excalibur.
Over Excalibur? I like Excalibur.
No,
I
Taz
don't
is
really
better.
like Excalibur.
Taz is better.
And he doesn't even. He's not even on. What is he not on? Is he not on Rampage? Which one is he not on? He's not on one of them.
Who Taz?
Yeah, isn't he?
He's on both Rampage and Dynamite.
Is he on Dynamite?
Yeah, he is.
I think he is.
Oh.
But anyway, enough about to move to other things in AEW.
Right.
I want to quickly talk about. I want. Well, actually, I'll ask. I want to open it up to you guys first. You guys know what I think about Adam Cole's AEW run. What are you? Where are you guys with Adam Cole? Not undisputed era. Just Adam Cole. Where are you guys with Adam Cole right now? In his
Let me go first because I probably out of all three of us, I'm probably the biggest Adam Cole fan of all of us.
Baby.
It's been god fucking awful. I hate what they've done with him. He was the top guy in NXT. I don't care. You can say Ciampa, Gargano. Adam Cole was the number one guy in NXT, and he everything he did matter. Like the Orange Cassidy shit. I know Eric, you don't like Orange Cassidy. It's fine. I didn't mind it at first when he kept beating his ass, and then they do this unsanctioned match where nothing counts, and Orange Cassidy beats him, and then Adam Cole. And the first time you see Adam Cole since that match, he's like, "I'm still undefeated, baby." Like,
and then he said, and he has the gall to lose to Orange Cassidy and be like, "I'm gonna win the AEW World Championship."
Like, yeah, you can't shift from that. You can't shift from opening match to main event just like that. You have to have something in the middle in between. So I really don't like that. I hope, because he's so good on the mic, he's so good in the ring. I'm hoping they give him someone in the like. I would love to see him fight for the TNT Championship, or like even hold it for a little while. Because Sammy Guevara with the 2 title belts every single night.
Why is he still carrying 2 belts?
I don't know. We don't
I
know.
don't know. It's stupid. It's very dumb. But yeah, so I hate it so far, but I am optimistic that it'll get better because he's so good.
All right, with Adam Cole, yeah, I agree. It's not very good. I can't really defend it.
Wait. Before you do that.
What? It's not. Yeah, the Adam Cole stuff is not great. No,
it's not good. It's not that it's not great. It's not good.
It's not good. It's. I wouldn't say it's god awful. There's some good things and intriguing things they're building up towards with the Undisputed Era going in, having a little bit of conflict.
But we haven't even got that in a little while. It's been almost a month since they've had any conflict.
It's still brewing. It takes a little bit to brew in the cauldron.
Yeah, it takes a while to brew when you're wasting time with Orange Cassidy.
But I'm probably not like Cody because. Nothing against Adam Cole. Adam Cole is not one of my top favorites. Like if he gets buried, I'm not gonna be upset as like if Trent gets buried. I don't know. I love Trent a lot. Yes. Okay, man. Trent.
Adam Cole is 10 times better than Trent.
Did you see Trent with this Adam Cole? That was great. I don't know. It was.
You can thank Adam Cole for that.
And then you had Trent versus Nick Jackson. Great. Trent has been on fire. I don't care what you say. Shush. So
he's never going to be anything. He's going to be a tag team wrestler.
So what's wrong with being a tag team wrestler? Nick Jackson and Matt Jackson are legendary tag team wrestlers, and they're good single wrestlers, to be honest, too. So what's your point?
Adam Cole's better.
Baby, great booking, baby.
It's terrible booking.
Yeah, I think I think the only person who's been booked worse than Adam Cole is Jay Lethal. It's those are 2 guys that they have just laughably messed up. With Adam Cole, he's on TV enough that I'm confident that they will eventually do right by him. But the reality is, he should be a huge star right now, and he's not. Nothing he does feels important to me because he's been messing around with someone who, for 2 years, has been presented as nothing more than a joke wrestler that makes everything around him a joke, and he just lost a match to that.
Idolo is booked worse than Cole.
Idolo's not losing to Orange Cassidy. He's not on TV very much.
If he gets in a feud with him, we will.
Well,
he's gonna lose to Darby now.
But yeah,
no, I think they're gonna. What I think they're gonna end up doing is a triple threat TNT. Darby versus Idolo versus Sammy.
Idolo gets a championship. I think
AEW, at least they were smart about going about Adam Cole's first loss and making it a lights out match. So because it's true, lights out matches technically they don't count against your win loss record because technically that's what they turn the lights off and then they turn them back on because everything after the lights go out isn't sanctioned by the company. They're not liable. They're not responsible.
I have a question. I do have a question about that. Where did the lights ever go out? I was watching that match. It didn't really.
Oh, they were supposed to. If they didn't dim them and turn them back on, then they did it wrong. because they're supposed to actually turn the lights off.
It didn't
But
seem like it. But
Here's my one thing about that match, though. They clearly they can't go around doing these stipulation matches if they don't know them, because lights out matches aren't automatically no DQ falls count or aren't automatically falls count anywhere. So that wasn't specified, but it was falls count anywhere. So clearly they don't know as much as they think they do. But again, you know what? They were smart. If they knew they were going to have him lose, they were smart to make it lights out so that he can still say he's undefeated. He can. It's a little bit of a cop out, sure, but technically he's still undefeated. I think it's absurd that they're going to have him lose a lights out match to Orange Cassidy and then have him say, like, I'm going to be the champion. No, you're not. Sorry.
You know what I think is absurd? Adam Cole beating Orange Cassidy he's probably beaten him 5 times over.
But I don't think he's ever beaten him clean, though, right?
Yeah, but still, him beating him 5 times in a row on tag teams and whatever you want to say, and then losing.
Well, Tony Khan was Orange Cassidy for Halloween a couple years ago, so that tells me.
Losing in the blow off. I don't know, it's stupid. Anything else in AEW before we want to move on?
We still have the Pac stuff with
I haven't watched that, so I can't really comment.
It's actually a little interesting.
Did you really wrestle blindfolded?
Yes, a little bit. Technically,
which is kind of silly, but
I bet
it is silly, but it didn't look like it. He looked smooth with it. He only did it for a little bit. I do like the
Dom, do you really think that he can't see in that blindfold?
I don't know.
He definitely can. There's no way. He definitely can.
At least his vision was definitely like
it was impaired, but he definitely could still see it.
And he looked like he didn't lose a step. So maybe I'm just a sucker of that gimmick. I'm interested to see. I don't care what you like. This one, you know what? This one.
I'm not.
Top 10 favorite gimmick potentially of all time. I don't care. Like blindfolded Justice. Like he's the Justice bringer.
Dom. It's been happening for 2 weeks and you're already putting.
I don't care.
That's dumb. That's
not dumb. I don't care.
That's a little ridiculous.
I don't care. I like it so much. I don't care. Same with Sean O'Hare. Sean O'Hare had like four TV like promos on his gimmick, and it's one of my favorite gimmicks of all time. I don't care.
No, I understand the Sean O'Hare because
I never said it was the best of all time. I said one of my favorites.
So you said potentially top 10 of all time after
for me.
After 2 weeks.
I don't care for me.
So I love Pac. But I'm not. I don't want to talk about Pac right now. I want to talk about that feud. My gosh, does it feel like Malachi Black is just his momentum is gone. It is gone.
They won.
But still, think about where he was when he dated. Like the first 2 months of him in AEW, he was the hottest thing, and he might have been the hottest guy in the business.
But they're gaining momentum back now, because now they had they won that feud, whatever it was, with Varsity Blondes, and now they won it against whatever it is.
Varsity Blondes.
Whatever, but they won the match against Pocket. And
but yeah, he does not.
And I think that's it for them. I think they're moving on, both of them.
I don't think Malachi does not feel like even half as important as he did.
I didn't say as important. I said he's getting momentum back. It's not like after he was losing.
That's that's AEW's big problem, though. Is why does it always have to be they have to get their momentum back? Why can't they just keep their fucking momentum?
Because they can't.
It's ridiculous. No one can ever. If you're a heel in AEW, you're not allowed to keep your heat or your momentum for longer than 3 months before you lose a match for no reason, and then they have to build it back.
Why am I back?
Because Dom has nothing else to say about his precious AEW.
I want to say about the main event. It was one of my favorite matches in AEW history. I think that.
Wait, which one? Which one?
The main event, Punk versus MJF.
Oh, yeah.
Everything to it. Great. Yeah, Punk looked gas as hell, but then again, Punk looks gas after any 30-minute match. If you ever watched him, if you ever watched him in the past, he gets gassed after 25.
I have one thing to say about this and one thing only.
I'm
glad they didn't open the show like they do every other fucking.
That was good.
I'm sick of it.
Yeah. Hello.
Eric's frozen for a little. Give him a second. He'll be back.
Yeah, okay. So I'll say I was really worried when they did the restart because I thought, oh fuck, now MJF's gonna lose. They're gonna do the same thing they did with Jericho. We're like, oh, we'll have MJF win super dirty, but then we'll restart it and have him lose. So like he has an out. So I was actually going into the match, I was certain MJF would win. And then after the restart, I was certain Punk would win, and I was not happy at all. So I was very pleasantly surprised when they still ended up putting MJF over. I loved it. I loved that it was dirty. I loved that he used the ring, because now you can milk a rematch and Punk can get his win back, and I'd have no problem.
I don't like that part. That's the only thing I don't like.
I wouldn't have too much of a problem with Punk getting his win back.
This is the thing. The Pepsi plunger. Awesome.
That was nice.
Awesome.
Did you say Pepsi plunger? Isn't it just Pepsi plunge?
It's Pepsi plunge.
Whatever.
Doesn't even know his favorite wrestler's moves.
This was back in Ring of Honor. I didn't watch him in Ring of Honor. I didn't even know wrestling was a thing back when he was in Ring of Honor. Okay, so whatever. MJF wearing the Yankee attire, like CM Punk wore in Night of Champions 20.
It's more about the reference to the John Cena thing.
Yes, but I'm saying, but he's the, or you can interpret it as the White Sox as well, though.
No, it was Yankees. It was Yankees.
Huh?
It was Yankees.
But still, the reference is there because he's supposed to be in his hometown. It connects. It's great. Okay.
No, do you understand the reference?
Yes.
When Punk called Cena the New York Yankees.
Because John Cena's the Yankees. Yes, we get it. And
no, but you just said Night of Champions. That was
is that 100% what it is?
It was Night of Champions
because
CM Punk wore that attire. How many times?
It could literally also just be that MJF is from New York.
No.
Whatever. I'm gonna smack both of you at the side of the head. Whatever.
You just don't understand the references.
I do understand the reference. Okay.
No.
Yes, it is because Night of Champions, CM Punk.
It's not from Night of Champions.
Yes, it is. He wore the attire. He wore the.
Dom, people wear attire all the time. Britt Baker wears sports attire. People wear sports attire all the time.
Attire of the Yankees when they were in Boston against John Cena. How many times do I have to explain it?
It's not why.
Yes, it is. Whatever. You're wrong. Okay.
So because Punk once wore a Yankee shirt in Boston. It's because MJF's wearing one in Chicago. That automatically means it's a callback.
Because
not just because MJF's from New York.
No.
Dom's right. It's a callback. It's just he's not referencing the right callback.
Yes, I am. What callback is he then?
When he said to CM Punk, "You're the John Cena. You're the New York Yankees."
I think it's just because MJF's from New York. I think you guys are thinking too much. I think it's literally because MJF's from New York.
You're wrong, Eric. You're wrong, Cody.
Oh, Don, you're wrong.
Wardlow came, and what I liked about it is the tension of Wardlow turning. That was great. And then it just shows, hey, I'm showing my allegiance to MJF, and yeah, you can be like, oh, I guess no Wardlow turn, but
we know he's turning.
But there's just prolonging the inevitable because MJF needs to finish his feud, maybe get the championship, and then feud with Wardlow. You know,
but you have to say this. I feel like you can't tease the turn so much and not do it like.
They've been doing it for years though already. They have been.
Yeah.
They have been.
Not as much as they're doing it now.
Now it's like every single.
You have to do it sooner than later. I feel like
they will. I think they'll do it this year.
They either have to do it sooner or they need to stop teasing it every week.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Maybe they'll stop teasing it now
Hopefully.
that Wardlow did the gives them the MJF ring. You know, we don't know that. It's hard to speculate on things that can creatively take very different directions.
Yeah, it's like speculating with certainty about a reference that was never explained exactly why.
I'll find the sources and I'll show
do it. Yeah.
But anyways, this was one of my matches. Definitely my favorite Punk match in AEW. So I'm very happy we got to have it.
Punk?
Like everybody loves the Eddie Kingston Punk match. I didn't know like that.
I didn't like it, but the Darby match was great.
I think my only thing is Punk damn near broke his neck when he did the reverse Hurricane. He took that. He executed that move like
he shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I agree. Punk has never been.
But
Alright.
yeah, other than that, it was a good match.
All right, so we good, or do we want to talk
Yeah,
about
we're
Adam Page?
good.
I really don't want to talk about Adam Page. If I'm being honest.
Adam Page. we were talking about him.
I just want to say a couple things really quick. He's boring. Get the belt off him.
Oh, Adam Page. I like Adam Page. He'll be the champion until Double or Nothing. Let's go.
Oh my God, please no.
Yes, he will.
He's so
Put him
boring.
in-
He's
Put him in a good storyline.
now that he's had the belt for a few months, I'm just gonna say he's the worst AEW champion ever. AEW World Champion ever. Not even close. He's the worst.
I mean, it's not that many people to choose from.
I mean, it's only been 4, yeah. So it's
No,
not-
by a country mile, he's the worst.
I guarantee you there
Vendor.
will be worse than him. I guarantee you.
Forbidden Door,
I have
he's-
no opinion.
so Tony Khan teased this as there's someone going to be entering the Forbidden Door and signing a contract, which is confusing because
Actually, let me pull up the tweet.
if they're signing
Oh
a
my
contract,
God.
you would assume they're not really coming from the Forbidden Door.
Mhm.
They're probably signing a 2-way contract. I don't know.
It has to be someone from New Japan, right?
No.
I mean, who? I mean, TNA.
All right,
They've
so-
done TNA stuff. No one wants to see them.
So here's the tweet from Tony Khan. The Forbidden Door can be opened for anyone from any wrestling promotion in the world, whether or not it's a company AEW is on good terms with, even if it's somebody from a company that's open for even if it's someone from a company that's open for business. They're also welcome to slam the door in the face of their prior company. Honestly, I think when he says even if it's a company that AEW isn't on good terms with, that has to be WWE.
It has to be.
Has
Well, they're
to.
mentioning,
They have a great
It
relationship with New
has to
Japan.
be WWE.
well, they're saying that just so people think that it's someone from WWE.
How do you know that though?
I'm almost like
Well,
you think someone from WWE signing with AEW as a 2-way contract.
How do you know that? I mean, WWE has been in
You know what would
record.
be crazy? You know what would be
It,
crazy?
it would
right
be
now?
crazy, but
They're
WWE
they're not
has been.
signing Shane. If you're going to say
No.
they're going to signing Shane, it's not
WWE
happening.
has been in the record first stated to be open to that. Back to Bryan
That was
Danielson.
AEW though.
Not with AEW, but New Japan basically is AEW because that's
No,
what AEW. This is AEW. Panda wouldn't be AEW. Facts.
Yeah, but I'm saying that like they're not going to sign someone. They're not going to have someone that go on direct competition because I know you love New Japan, but if WWE and New Japan are not in competition.
No, because they have different markets.
Yeah, exactly. So like I just don't think that WWE would send someone over to AEW. I
Yeah,
don't.
No, I'm not disagreeing. WWE rules in the West and in the East. It's
If-
New Japan.
If we had someone in the Rumble that was AEW, I would say, okay, that's a real possibility, but we
Mhm.
didn't. So what if it's we talked about him earlier? What if it's Mustafa Ali just breaching his fucking contract?
That would not be fun. That'd be bad because
That would be a horrible,
hilarious.
move by Mustafa Ali.
Because that would bring a lot of legal trouble.
He would get so sued.
Yeah, he would
It's
go
so
through-
funny
that's
though.
a bad
When Tony
idea.
Khan's like, I'm a fucking billionaire. I'll just pay the fucking.
That's a bad idea because not only is it like money, it's time too. Time to have to.
If Tony Khan's not going to open his wallet to get the Briscoes, why would he open his wallet to bail Mustafa Ali out of a lawsuit?
That would be hilarious. I don't think it's gonna happen, but like I have no idea. Like people will probably
No.
say Okada.
No,
Like,
it's not
I
Okada.
don't
It's
think
not
it's
going.
Okada's a little
No.
too big. I don't think
Okada is not leaving.
Jay White.
Because the other
No.
thing is whenever a New Japan guy has come over to AEW, they've always lost. So I don't think New Japan would send Okada unless it's like
They're signing
if
a
we're- if we're-
contract, so
But like, I think there'd have to, if it's a 2-way, New Japan would have to have some say in how he's used. And if at least if I were New Japan, I'd say, look, if you want to use this guy, he's gonna beat everybody, and he's gonna beat him convincingly.
Yeah.
they also say huge signing.
Okay,
they don't
huge
say, like-
signing. If it's a huge signing, it's not from New Japan.
Well,
because
they also-
all the
well,
huge
they said,
guys are staying
they-
over there.
That's also just words they use. They said, remember how much they hyped up Christian Cage's signing, and look, and first of all, they really hyped him up into something for someone.
But they got
bigger than what
shit
he
back for
was.
that. They got shit back for that for saying how big it was.
Yeah,
They did
he
get
was.
shit back.
Even though he's big, even though he is a star, they were hyping up a star much bigger than Christian Cage.
Christian
That's-
Cage
that's just
is
words
one
they
of my
use.
favorites, so
Yeah,
I
huge
think
signings
Well, that's
is
why
what
I
he-
immediately thought of Keith Lee, but like I feel like you don't use huge.
It's
for
not.
huge
It's
money.
not. It's not. It's not New Japan because who would go over there? They wouldn't send. Oh, if it's a huge signing, they're not gonna send somebody like Yoshihashi over there. Nothing against Yoshihashi. Yoshihashi's a tag team champion, but
And I don't think Jeff Cobb would make that mistake again.
Jeff Cobb is not making.
Jeff Cobb comes in, jobs to Moxley and leaves.
No, Will Ospreay is still gonna probably be the champion in that company.
I could see it being Ospreay more than
No, because he's gonna because then he did the same mistake. I wouldn't say mistake, but Kenny left too soon because the build to him getting the championship to him having the championship is so night and day.
Like this is what I like though. Like that we have no idea who's.
I
like,
don't. I'm gonna
we
be
could be really
disappointed.
disappointed.
Well, have they said for sure that they have signed somebody, or that
They said they're going to sign a contract.
or
And
going to sign? Okay,
they're
so
they're wrestling. They're wrestling Isaiah Cassidy for a spot in the ladder match
when?
or
When?
Wednesday.
Oh,
Wednesday.
Oh shit! Okay, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
this Wednesday.
Oh shit! I'm
It's
gonna
gonna
have
be. I feel like it's gonna be a little bit underwhelming. I don't know.
It will. If they're fighting Isaiah Cassidy, it's probably be no. Actually, you know what? That doesn't.
No, I
just
think Cassidy's good.
I'm gonna stop that before I finish it. Just because they're fighting Isaiah Cassidy doesn't necessarily mean it has to be underwhelming. But my guess is it's probably going to be a little underwhelming.
Well, it's a I don't know what are they doing, a ladder match or something for TNT title? They're qualifying for that ladder match. Which
Okay.
I mean,
Ricky Rubio's on the Pacers now. What the hell?
yeah, trade for Karis LeVert.
Yeah, I just looked.
Yeah, I think if it was somebody really, really huge, I think they just save it and have him be in the ladder match and be like, there's just going to be a mystery person in the ladder match rather than exposing him in a match first and then bringing him in.
But also, so call me a crazy conspiracy theorist, but I think they're trying to jump the ratings of Raw because Raw is going to be on Sci-Fi for the next couple of weeks because of the
I
Olympics.
heard about that.
That's
So
smart.
They
That's
wanna
very
bring as
smart.
they want to bring as much views as they want.
Yeah, it's
So
really that is smart. I give Tony Khan a lot of shit as a booker, but he's a fantastic promoter.
if it's Shane McMahon, I'm going to laugh.
You know what it is? You know what it is?
There's no way it's Shane. If it's Shane,
You know-
I'd be dumbfounded.
It's gonna be Naomichi Marufuji. Okay, there you go.
Who?
Marufuji.
Don't know
You know who this man is, Eric, right? Everybody.
Yeah.
He's gonna be there.
I don't think you consider it huge.
It is in Japan, yes.
Yeah,
He's
in
a legend.
Japan, but not like.
But then
And if
again,
it's big in Japan, it's big to the small cult AEW fans that Tony
It is,
Khan
like me.
cares. That Tony Khan only cares about.
exactly, and that's me.
All right, so
And that's why they're.
if I hear the
Look at him, a WWE champion.
All right, so we're going on to our last banner.
Oh, we have. Oh
Early
no.
chamber match.
Mm.
Oh.
So
Where do we want to begin? Which match? I think there's two matches we really needed. Actually, no, there's three. Which should we?
Becky and Lita, which I'm looking forward to. 'cause
Me
I
too.
love Lita. Even though Lita's very rough in the ring right now, so hopefully she gets some more work in. Viking Raiders versus. The
Oh, so
Usos.
4. So there's 4 matches then.
Wait, what's the other one?
Then there's the actual chamber match, and then there's Goldberg Roman.
Oh yeah. And then the chamber match. We don't have to talk about them all because we're obviously going to talk about our predictions.
I think the big one we should talk about is the actual chamber match,
Yeah.
right?
Because Roman and Goldberg is stupid. I don't
Yeah.
care what. At least I will give WWE credit. At least they said this was supposed to happen 2 years ago, so it's happening now.
Yeah,
Because that's what Roman's last feud was before he left.
yeah.
Fair enough. Fair
They
enough.
were supposed to have a match at Mania 36.
So-
I was gonna say I like the idea of Roman facing Goldberg more than Brock Lesnar being in the chamber, a lot more.
Yeah.
Because if you're in the chamber,
The only reason I agree with you is because I think Brock's gonna win.
he's
Yeah,
it's for the title, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
He wins the Royal Rumble match and then inserts him into the championship chamber match. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm.
so
Like,
first
what
off,
the fuck is
well,
going
so-
on?
I don't
And
think
we're
that's that
supposed to-
stupid. I don't think that's that stupid because he got screwed out of the WWE Championship.
But we're supposed to root for him as a face, right? How am I supposed to root if he can just go in any match ever? He's like, oh, oh, my opponent is sick. Oh, I'm just gonna
here's
win
what
the WWE Championship.
I don't know. I think that's more WWE's fault because what they need, what they should have, but what they should have done at the Rumble that they didn't do is explain how Brock got in there. Like there should have been I don't know. They should have given some sort of explanation. How Brock
I agree. Like it would have been cool, but like, oh, let's say random ass good guy wrestler. He's like, oh, I'm hurt, I got attacked. And I'm like, oh, I need somebody to replace me. And he looks over and then Brock smiles like, Brock, can you do it? And he's like, yeah, buddy. Something shit like that. You know what? Explain it more. But no, it just shows.
Okay, now that you said it would have been hilarious if Sammy got hurt and tried to go
Yes.
Like,
I was thinking
Sammy, I got you.
Exactly. But like, they could have explained more. But no, it just shows that, oh, he lost. Dirty. Now he's going to be upset. So he's going to insert himself in number 30 because he's the words I was privileged. He's privileged enough to be like, oh, I can just go. Huh?
He picked out of the balls.
So he had a championship match as a champion, and then no, stop.
All right, so this is my big problem. I think Brock's gonna win. I am praying. So I would say this. This is my odds. I would think. I think Brock's number 1. I would put Seth number 2. And then honestly, I'd put AJ number 3. I don't think Bobby Lashley's.
I'd put Brock 1, Lashley 2, and then Seth 3, just because.
I really don't.
Because I think unless you're gonna put the title on Lesnar, I think you keep it on Lashley until Mania, and then I think I either told Dom this directly or I put it in our chat that I think if they're not gonna put the title on Brock, I think Lashley should keep it till Mania. And that's where Seth should win it.
I agree.
If you're not going to put it on Brock, then there was no reason to put it on Lashley at the Rumble. Having said that, putting the title back on Brock at the Chamber, I don't think it makes much sense either. I love Brock, and I love the story they've been telling with Brock and Roman, but I don't. If the plan was always from day one. And I mean, I don't mean day one, the figure day one, the show day one. If the plan was for them to do title versus title at Mania, then there was no reason to take the title off of Brock. There was zero reason.
I also the idea of title versus title, I just don't like.
Oh, I hate it.
It's awful. It's awful because that is I'm like, oh, they're gonna unify it again.
It's also so I don't think it's gonna happen. This is my one thing of why I don't think it's gonna happen. They have 2 nights of WrestleMania. They have to have. What matches released on the show?
That's what they might do. They might have Universal Champion facing whoever, and then Brock is gonna face whoever, and then the winners of that is gonna face at night 2, and that's what they did in New Japan.
I don't think so because they're already advertising Brock versus Roman for us.
Brock versus Roman is 100% happening.
Oh, 100%.
No, on SmackDown they had the cool thing.
I'm so confused with WWE.
Brock versus Roman's happening no matter what because Brock won the Rumble and he said he's challenging Roman. The only question is it going to be title versus title or is it just going to be for the Universal?
I don't
think they're going to do it just because they have 2 nights to fill. Like they're going to have.
They have a ton of talent to.
Yeah,
it's not a lot of talent.
They have a lot of talent. They have a lot of titles. They need 2 nights of just title matches, you know? They have 2 women's champions. They have 2 tag team champions. They have 2 mid-card champions.
But since they've done 2 nights, it's always been 1 major championship was on the first night.
But now also you got to think that this is now Raw was the 2nd time now that Brock has talked about doing title versus title. They're not going to keep mentioning it and not do it.
I want to think they're not doing it, but I'm scared.
I think they're doing it. I think 100%.
Cody, I agree with you. I'm scared too, but this is WWE. They don't give a fuck. They'll just do. I'm super confused with going WWE. I was so excited going into 2021.
I want to defend WWE's thinking, not in the chamber part, in the overall in the overall Lesnar versus Roman title versus title. It's WrestleMania. We've had our debates about.
We've had a lot of debates.
Yeah, I don't know how long I was out, but what I'll say is
we've had our debates.
We've had our debates about what matches belong where on the WrestleMania card. but we can all agree that WrestleMania is for the biggest matches. What is the big? Take titles out of the picture. Titles don't exist. What's the two biggest stars? Who are your two biggest stars? Roman and Brock. They are. Sorry. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I agree.
So inherently, without titles, the biggest match you could make is Roman versus Brock. And then how do you up the stakes from there? You put a title online. Roman's had a title for 2 years. How else can you raise the stakes from there? Yeah, you can. You can make it title versus title. And with Brock, all right, and you can make this argument for any year. Like, oh, then why don't you just make a title versus title every year? Because the stars don't align that way. The stars have aligned perfectly to make this the biggest match with the biggest stakes.
Eric,
and I think
I want to interrupt you for 1 second. You said WrestleMania should have the biggest matches of the year, right? You just mentioned one match. That's the problem with how the book.
The main event. No, in the main event, I mean. In the main event.
That's the problem how WWE's booking, though. Because there's 2 nights, there's 2 main events. You can say one of them might not matter.
Ronda versus
Charlotte's gonna be one.
Yeah, Ronda versus Charlotte's your other one.
But I'm just saying in general, like especially with the men's division, I don't think one match should take all the spotlight and everybody else suffers for it, because that's what it feels like.
I think, but at the same time, I think the main event should feel like a way bigger deal than any other match.
I'm not saying it won't, and it doesn't, but it feels like it almost seems like a one match card in terms of build.
Yeah, that's true. And that's just WWE being bad at booking their mid card. But I think
that's why I have a problem.
I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you on that. Yeah, I agree with you on that. But that doesn't detract from the fact that the main event of WrestleMania is supposed to be the biggest match possible, and the stars have aligned perfectly to put their 2 biggest stars with their 2 biggest titles on the line. Why would you not?
No, not the titles, because they're almost. I would not say titles, because the WWE title, it almost seems like they're just forcing it on Brock, because he was forcibly put on the champion.
I kind of disagree with that.
How do you?
I don't think the WWE
forcibly put last minute into the WWE Championship match, and now he's doing.
Again. He also didn't need to win.
Yeah, he won the match.
But that's of course he didn't need to win. But it's WWE. Of course they're gonna have him win because they want it to happen. But they forcibly put him there without a build. Same with the.
I mean, Roman had COVID. I don't know.
That's a great build. Roman had COVID. Let's just have him wrestle. Like.
So you're not gonna have Brock Lesnar wrestle when he's advertised to wrestle when he's completely healthy?
Not for the title and win it, no, because it's.
I'm not saying he should have won it. I don't think he should have won it. But like you saying that Brock shouldn't have been in that match, I feel like they gave the storyline that Paul Heyman said, "Hey, put Brock in the match," and that happened. That's what Paul Heyman's for.
I'm sorry. I just don't like anything that's going on. I'm just very upset about it. Like Brock's handling of him being a babyface, because he is presented as the top babyface. He said, biggest match of the year, Brock versus Lesnar. He's supposed to be the babyface. He's presented as the babyface, but he's not. But he doesn't feel like it because he's getting opportunity after opportunity out of nowhere. That's something a heel will get.
He got one opportunity out of nowhere.
One opportunity out of nowhere.
Not seeing the guy opportunity after opportunity. He was a face.
Like he literally got one opportunity out of nowhere, and then which was a day one, and then he won fair and square.
And then he got. And then what do you mean opportunity?
The Rumble.
At the Rumble.
He won the match.
Yeah, because he got in the Rumble in the first place.
Literally everybody in the Rumble was given an opportunity out of nowhere. They were just picked.
True.
Yes.
True.
Whatever.
No one had a match that said, if you win this, you're in the Rumble.
Did you have a problem with when Roman won the Universal title, Dom? Because he let Fiend and Braun fight an entire match, and then he just came in and won.
I didn't watch it during that time, so I can't give him a.
Did you have a problem with when Seth won at WrestleMania 31? Because he let Roman and Brock beat each other up, and
because
then
that was the money in the
bank.
You can't compare, because that's the whole premise on the Money in the Bank. Yeah.
Dom, I do think you're wrong also by comparing it with the Royal Rumble, because like everybody gets. You just have to be like, I'm declaring for the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but it's a difference.
Then did you have a problem with Seth fighting Roman? Because that just kind of happened. There was no build for that. He did just one day, I have an opponent for you, and it was Seth. Seth just was given an opportunity.
It's a difference.
Tell me the difference right now.
Because there's a build.
No, to him getting the match. He was literally given an opportunity. Adam Pearce said, I have an
I'm
opponent for
not
you.
talking about
And then it
Seth.
was
I'm
Seth.
talking about Brock.
Seth was given an opportunity, Dom. You said your problem is Brock's being given opportunity after opportunity. Seth was given an opportunity for no reason.
Okay.
Tell me the difference.
The difference is Roman was the number 30. The difference is he's a Royal Rumble winner and he's just in an Elimination Chamber match. That has never
What?
happened before.
Wait, what?
Brock
Roman
Lesnar
was the-
won, and he's in
Yeah.
an Elimination
He
Chamber
said
match.
Roman.
He won, yeah, he was number 30, but then he also lost the WWE title clean or dirty. So he technically still has his story with Lashley still technically isn't over. Of course he's going to be in the chamber match for the title he just lost and the title he got screwed out of. Of
But
course
he's
he's in a match.
the world champion.
I think it makes
he's the
sense.
Rumble winner.
I just don't want Brock to win. I think it makes sense. Like, he got screwed by Lashley too. He got screwed by Roman, which Lashley didn't beat him fairly. So he's like, "Oh, I want a rematch."
I don't like the storyline. It's just not very intriguing.
Yeah, his storyline with Lashley is not very good. His
Brock
storyline with Roman is still the best story they're telling.
I have a question, Dom. If Brock Lesnar comes into the chamber blindfolded, will he like it better?
You're an asshole.
You didn't answer the question.
No,
because that's not an AEW show, Cody. Only AEW can do it, and it's cool. If they do it in WWE, it's not cool because they're not AEW.
Oh, so because I like I don't like something that WWE does. It's just I'm a mark for AEW. Okay, sure.
I mean, you
Okay,
are.
I do have
you are a mark.
But because I like this booking better, that makes me a mark. Sure, whatever. Everyone
Well, because you like the stories that are clearly worse and bad.
It's your opinion because I like the stories much more.
Okay, wait. No, I have a question. This is nothing about anything you guys are talking about. I just wanted to ask it.
Oh.
Have you guys watched any of Raw last week?
No,
I watched a little bit.
I don't watch Raw anymore.
Eric, did you watch the Riddle and Gable stuff?
I've not been watching any of that.
Wait, I watched the clip when Riddle got into Almas and he said he has beautiful eyes.
It's so good.
I
Gable
saw
is so fucking good. Oh my god, it's so
But yeah,
good.
I can't stand the spelling bees or whatever, and the scooter races. It's fucking stupid. It's not wrestling. This is sports entertainment, which I hate.
Well, that's the program you watch.
Yes, the
That's
program you
stupid.
love so dearly.
All right,
I don't love it. I've never loved it.
we're getting out of here. That is from me, Eric, and AEW show. Mark over there. Anything else to add before we get off, boys?
No.
AEW sucks.
All right, adios.
WWE is
Peace.
awesome, man.